Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Camera Life podcast. I'm Greg, and joining me is my fellow co-host, Justin. G'day, boss. How you doing this morning?
Doing great. It's a wonderful day here in Bendigo.
I like how we colour coordinated our lighting, but not our tops once again. Maybe next time. And of course, being a Thursday morning, we are joined today by a guest photographer to unpack their craft, their journey, and talk about the significant experiences that shaped them to be who they are today. Please join me in welcoming documentary, portrait, wedding, and videographer, photographer. I'm gonna butcher the name straight away. I'm sorry.
You can do it, Greg.
Do it.
Davide Balduzzi.
Yes. Well done.
Thank you, my friend.
Davide.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
Give us the little lesson. Give everyone the little lesson you gave us just before we went live on how to pronounce your name.
So I can say how to not pronounce it. So it's not David. It's not Dave. D is fine. It's not David. But yeah, the stress is on the A and then goes till the last E. Davide.
Davide.
Okay.
Love it.
Yes.
All right. I hope everyone at home's got that because there will be a quiz later.
That's right.
Thank you. Great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Really
guys.
keen to unpack your story. And I don't know if I mentioned this to Justin, but you're also a Fujifilm photographer. And so already you've won the
I
day
knew
in my
it.
book.
Yes.
I cop a lot of flack because as you know, I'm a Fuji photographer as well. And I cop a lot of flack on this show for being a Fuji photographer using crop sensors.
Yes.
And it's great to have an ally back on the show with me.
Sorry for interrupt, but I think we can talk. I'm ready to talk about Fuji brand for 2 hours. So
Okay.
I'm in love with my gear, and yeah. It's
We'll get to gear at the back end of the show. We won't dominate the whole time with Fuji as much as I'd like to. Don't get me wrong.
I'm going to end up buying a camera after this episode, aren't I?
Quite possibly. But yeah, great to have you on the show. Let's launch into a question. But before we do, Justin, do you mind bringing up Davide's website on the portfolio documentary?
Yeah, I sure can.
Let's jump straight into a little bit of image porn, because your use of contrast in how you create your portraits is quite pronounced. It's quite strong. More often than not, your subjects' faces fill the complete frame, so there's no context behind them. The story is purely about them on that particular moment. Talk to us about that style and how you kind of arrived at that point where the punchy contrast became a bit, I guess you could call it a bit of a signature style. Is that how you would identify with it?
yes. Well, as you guys probably experience yourself in your creative journey, styles can change, and I think it is very related to the inspirations that so when, for example, when I started, I was aiming to do this dramatic contrast, high punchy style, also because I was following certain photographers that I was getting inspired with. These things can change in a creative journey. I do still feel that this aesthetic helps to don't give escape to the viewer and just like immerse into the subject's world for as long as they want to watch the image. Yeah, but I can do also use some sort of dreamy, vintagey, and soft looks as well. Yeah.
No, I've come across some of those in your collection.
Yeah. I'm not stuck into this contrasty way of photograph. Yeah.
No, that's fair. I think what's most compelling about these images with the use of the contrast is that you see every lifeline on the face. You see the person for who they truly are. You see, you see the wrinkles. You see the bags under the eyes. You see the real person, and I think that's a really compelling way to tell a story about an individual, where there's no distraction. It's just you really are head on with the subject when you view these images. Another thing I noticed with your body of work, both on your website and Instagram, is that some of your portraits have a very warm, orangey red kind of feel to them, and others have a very cool blue, green feel to them. How important is color in storytelling for these sorts of images for you?
Oh, I think color is very. It's definitely is a language, and it's good to master that language in order to communicate a certain things that you want to communicate.
Yeah.
And also absence of color is another language. So I think the warm tones, it's funny because I don't think about it beforehand. It just comes naturally. Comes from how I feel in that moment, how the skin tones of the subject are, how's the environment, and from there I can see which color tone or palette will work.
Yeah.
And they already have a sort of color palette, but I think the post-production work is to give an emphasis on that or remove a bit. Yes. So
yeah.
How much of that process are you doing in camera while shooting? Like, are you the sort of photographer that will set your camera to a black and white film simulation or JPEG profile, even if you're shooting raw, but to kind of see the effects as you're shooting? Or do you just shoot in color all the time and then choose how you want to process the image later on?
I shoot usually in color, classic chrome.
Yes.
Film simulation. Yes.
Yeah. Fuji.
Yeah. It's interesting because when I was using as a main camera my X-T2, the black and white will look better. I don't know why. I don't know how to explain it, but most of the portraits that you can see in my gallery that are black and white, they've been shoot with the X-T2. When then I got my X-T4, didn't work that well, the black and white, and so I was going for the color. And so I started shooting more like not shooting more color, but keep the color as it was. And yeah, that's interesting. Did you notice something like that as well with your equipment? Or
yeah, like earlier cameras like the X-T1, X-T2, I still shoot with a Fujifilm X70, which is quite old now. I think the image sensors back then had a little more character to them. They weren't as perfect as what we're seeing in the Gen 5 cameras like the X-T5 and the XC5 and the X50, because you've got a high level of detail. You tend to get less grain with those newer cameras, but the older cameras you tend to get a little bit more grain, a little bit more punchy contrast in the earlier sensors. So yeah, I think that's definitely a thing. Like I said, it's character. Some of those early Fuji lenses and cameras and even the film simulations had different character to what we're seeing now. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that the character, because we are focused on getting the perfect gear, the perfect sharp lens, and I shoot so many pictures, especially in my trip in India. One of those is the cover photo that I've sent you. The image has been is being captured with a X-T2 and a film lens from my dad's camera, which costs probably $40.
Yeah,
Oh wow,
that's very cool.
Yeah,
it's a
with
beautiful image.
yeah,
Yeah,
the image has been exposed in few places, also in a gallery in Rome, and yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
I'm
Justin, are you going
trying
to
to
ask a
find it.
question?
I was actually just trying to find that image to pull it up, but I'm struggling to track it down in its because it's all over the place. Even though we used to make it thumbnail. That's all right. I'll find it later. And we can
It's
check
all
it
right.
out. But yeah, I love that
yeah.
that idea of using old lenses, different, and not worrying about perfect sharpness, but about the feel
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
getting something a little bit
and
different.
embrace the imperfections and
yeah, for sure. Yep, and it's a tough thing to learn, or actually, it's tougher to unlearn the current expectations of tack sharp, perfect pixels everywhere, excellent use of dynamic range. Like, there's that pressure now because cameras are getting better and better and better at managing those things. But even a friend of the show and someone who's been a past guest, Greg Carrick, he shoots with an XE4 and he's also got a GFX, but he often will adapt old lenses to his GFX. He's adapted cinema projector lenses just to get unique character and feel and experiment. He's never shy to try something adapted to his Fuji camera. So it's interesting to hear you say the same thing.
yeah.
And yeah, well, look, like I said earlier, we'll leave gear till the back end. But maybe you just want to say good morning to some people, Justin.
Yeah, I'll see who's in the chat. There's quite a few, even a few new names. We've got Matt Boyle. Good to see you. Saw him at the gym this morning. What's up? Matt Kerr says love.
Oh, that's my friend.
Love classic chrome.
Classic
I could
chrome's
barely
great.
talk. That's your friend. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Matt. No. Philip Johnson, Julie Power, morning from a grey drab Melbourne. Matt's from London. That's cool. Very cool. Must be late there or getting late. Philip Johnson's in Katoomba. Oh, this is a name. Gloria Balduzzi. I don't know
She's
who
my
that might
auntie.
be. Oh, that is cool. That's very cool. Paul's here. Felicity's here. David Mascaro says, looking forward to this one. Rodney Nicholson, good morning from Byron Bay. You up there, Rodney?
Yeah, we're doing up there.
Very cool. He's normally from Geelong
Same
or
place.
somewhere that way. Yeah.
Oh. Hi, Rodney.
Nice.
I'm in Byron too.
And
Drop by.
yeah, you could just swing past. Live podcast. Dennis Smith is on the road to Broken Hill this morning. Looking forward to having this to accompany me along the way. Hope the drive's going well.
Yeah, be safe.
Yeah, traveling podcast. Okay. So, where to from here?
Well, let's roll back the clock a little and talk about your earliest inspirations around either photography or art or just a creative mindset.
Yes.
Where did it all begin for you? And when did you realize that photography was something that you could pursue?
Yeah. So I've been lucky because I've been exposed to being creative since I was a kid. Had many examples of being creative. My mom, my dad, my uncle, auntie. So I grew up in a family of the creativity was high. That could be music, drawing, or taking photos. My dad was taking photos with a Yashica. Yeah, which I still have and I'm still using.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and my mom does clay and plays music, and so the door was open from the early days, and then just took me a while to understand which one was for me. At this stage, I love everything. I love playing music, listen to music, drawing. So everything I think is important. I don't believe I have to focus in just one thing, because creativity is something that you have to cultivate every day, like in my opinion. And so I like to freshen it up all the time. It doesn't need to feel like work. But I started taking pictures when I was on my 20s. I had few hobbies, snowboarding with friends and all of that. But I still I missed something, like a hobby or a passion just for myself and not like a group thing to do. And my friend suggests me like, why you don't get a camera and you go hiking. And at that stage I was influenced by lots of photographs that my dad took, and they were hanged in the house. And yeah, I bought the first camera and I started playing. And of course, I didn't have a style. I didn't know what picture to take. I was just like taking like lots of pictures of different things. And it's funny looking back at those pictures. You're like, oh, yeah,
We've all been there. We've all been there.
yeah, we all been there. But
What subjects were you drawn to? Like the first thing, you get your first camera and you just want to take photos of things. What was it? Did you go to the beach, landscapes? Was it straight away to people? Like, what did you experiment with in the real first days of that new camera?
I think because I grew up in the mountains, so yeah, hiking and taking some sort of, I wouldn't say portraits, but I would say like pictures of my friends that they didn't look like portraits. They weren't good at all, but it was just like taking the habit to bring my camera along with me and just playing with this, or maybe some, I don't know. I will drive. I will see a bunch of horses over there, so I will stop and take some photos of horses or whatever. Everything, and yeah, everything was part of. Everything was good. I was experiencing also long exposure, like photos of the river with long exposure, and trying to have that sort of silky water effect and all that stuff. And then yeah, and people were complimenting my pictures that I look back and I'm like, oh my god. Like,
Yeah.
how, why? But yeah, but that helped me to like build slightly like a sort of like awareness of like, maybe I'm built for this, maybe I have a sense of aesthetic that I can cultivate. And yeah, but I think yes.
No, I was just going to say it's an interesting. We often ask this question of guests because it's very interesting to see what led people to pick up a camera professionally, and what that journey was before that time where they stepped into professional photography life. And often it's about people that had influence from their parents, got a camera because they were going to travel and they just started documenting things. And then all of a sudden they realized, or someone was telling them and pointing out that, hey, actually your photos are great. You should do more of that. It's a really interesting trend that we see amongst photographers.
Yes.
That especially if you didn't do photography as an education, say in tertiary, often people pick it up and turn pro through that journey of traveling with a camera, documenting everything they see to define a genre. You mentioned your family and your father, and interestingly, today is Father's Day in Italy. And I cleared this with you before we went live, so viewers, please don't have a go at me.
Yes.
You recently lost your father.
Yes.
And you thought, when we were speaking about you joining us today on this podcast, you talked about how this would be a good opportunity, especially given it is Italian Father's Day, to
Yes.
honor your dad and the influence that he had on you. A question that I'm interested in, because I have had my own experience with grief as a visual creative. How has your grief and your experience of losing your father influenced where your photography is now? And did it create any sort of temporary block to being creative?
It did. Yeah. It did block. It did block me creatively. But it is a good block. And by that I mean like slow down, regroup, and understand where I'm at and where I want to take my vision out of the world. Because it made me question a lot of things. Also, when I experienced it with grief, I lost the attraction to be with people too much.
Yeah.
So yes, so I'm trying to what I'm trying to say is I'm taking advantage of this moment of like I see it as like a season and an opportunity to be a be more quiet, less out there, but sort of reflect and be more intentional where I want to be in the last 3 years. And working I'm working a lot on my computer, so I'm building a sub brand of Balduzzi Capture. And funny enough, like as I said, grief pushed me more of like a quiet work that doesn't relate with people at the moment. So I started doing a lot of real estate and editorial photography, which doesn't require have that sort of intensity with a subject. Or
Yeah.
and yeah, so I'm building some work on that, and definitely, yeah, creativity helps always. So especially in those moments. So I feel blessed that I'm a creative person and I can translate art from a place of nostalgia and
Yeah.
reminiscing and pain. And I think that's where the real work comes from. So I'm gonna be definitely out there soon and do more work and interact with people and listen to their stories and share mine. And
Yeah.
but not yet. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. That's very fair.
Yes.
And on behalf of us, all of us here, we're so sorry for your loss. But I think
Thank
that
you.
it's a wonderful opportunity for you to honor your father and what he meant to you.
Absolutely. Yes,
So
I still remember when I started that I was in my room and I got into photography, and so I was like obsessed and learning about all the components. So he was there. He was part of the journey. He gave me the equipment. Um, he motivated me when I needed to be motivated, or um, yeah, yeah. So
Big inspiration.
yeah, big inspiration, definitely.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
and
that's amazing.
I think he guided me also into the documentary style to document the wrinkles, the rough, the documented life, and not the stage part
Yeah,
of, which is fair. It's not a critique, of course, but yeah, that's why I think I
no,
got in that
I think that's
direction.
great. Yeah,
Was it
Yeah.
was that kind of active guidance in the sense that he was reviewing images and things like that, and giving advice, or was it just a more conceptual, just chats about, I guess, creativity in a more broad sense, or was it was he helping specifically with like, oh, you should use this lens, or this, you know, this is how you should take a photo like this?
Not necessarily. He was like um, a quiet individual that, like, he would answer some questions if I had questions, but he wasn't guiding me too much. I was doing that job by my own. Yeah, but sometimes, you know, when I was sharing some sort of like, oh, I feel a bit of fear or sort of a sense of being uncomfortable to take my camera out and take a photo of someone, and he will say, you know, it's just a camera, it's not a gun, it's not, it's you know, it's just do it, it's fine, you know. It's, well, nowadays is definitely you need to ask permission and all of that, but yeah, he will like yeah, got me on that as well. It's like, don't take it too seriously, you know, you're making art and with other people, and that's what I experienced, you know.
Yeah.
Lots of people that I thought I would disturb or I would make them uncomfortable, um in in my journey, like, I experienced that they were really surprised and appreciative of like being seen and being stopped by, and so that was great. Sorry, I'm going I'm
No,
going
That's
into
fine.
no, this is
places
what this is what we're here for.
Yep, definitely.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I think it's always important to reflect back on how people have influenced you, and you know, as a form of memoriam, you know, try to live up to that advice in some degree. And it sounds like you had a wonderful connection with your father, and I'm sure that your work will continue to be inspired by you know, his role in your life.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I want to also mention that a funny anecdote. I don't know if it's a word, anecdote. Little story. So because of him, they wrote an article of the um, province magazine, the journal. And it's funny because he was home and he was reflecting on what he could do to help my sort of career or help me, and he mailed the magazine and newspaper, Eco di Bergamo is called, and then they did an article about my journey, and so he was all proud and had the article, cut it out. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my parents have still got some of my very early drawings up on the wall in frames, and I feel embarrassed every time I
Yeah.
see them.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
I know. It's silly. It's absolutely silly. Cool. Well, thank you for sharing all of that. Let's move forward in your timeline. So you know, you're out and about, you're photographing everything with your camera, you're trying to define who you are as a visual creative and what your art represents. Talk to us about how that transition to documentary and portrait photography.
Yes. I think it was born. The seed has been planted from National Geographic, and I was obsessed. Like, since I was a kid, I was obsessed watching documentaries and then looking National Geographic images and website and all of that. So that was like the foundation, you know. But at that stage, I didn't know how to do it. But I think the practicality of the style was born in India, and it was like an amazing journey that I still carry in my heart. It was my first solo trip, and was right after 7 years breakup. So at that stage, it was like, okay, this is it. This is the moment. I book a flight from Milan to Delhi, and then I booked another flight from Cochin in South India to Thailand, and I had 2 months time to go south, and I didn't pack much, and I had my X-T2 Fuji with, I think, 1855, and then the 2 lenses that my dad used to use in his vintage Yashica.
Yeah.
I bought like a cheap adapter, and and so the documentary style was born there. More in particular in Varanasi. When I was in Varanasi, I don't know if you know the history of what it's about.
I know a little bit, and it's on my. I've got it up on my board up here. I want to get there. It was supposed to be happening this year, but it's. I don't know if it will or not, because I've been looking at flights and they're very expensive. But I'd love for you to tell us a little bit more, because I've watched a ton of videos and stuff about traveling there, and I know a little bit about the history and why it's so special. But tell us, like, you've been there, so tell us what you know about Varanasi.
Well, Varanasi is a very special place and very unique. And for Indian people, being burned once they died, being burned there is a very holy thing. And the more rich they are, the more wood piles they can afford. And so, and you can see it. Like, you go and there's the Ganga River, and there's those stairs that are called ghats. And you can see all this activity that is non-stop, of like people working, grabbing the wood and ceremonies and flowers and smells, incense, and then they carry the body on the platform, and then they burn it, and it's very unique. And the sky is always gray. It's always flat. Probably because of pollution. And so I start using for the first time prime lenses, those little lenses that I was telling you, right there. And right there, I start taking these frame filling portraits, and the skin tones looked so nice because of the softbox, the natural softbox of the pollution and the clouds, and so in that moment I was like, oh my god, this is working. Like, I really got into that, and I was satisfied, and it was really fun, and I was just want to stay all day out shooting and connected with people. Yeah.
And you said you were there for a couple of months?
Yes.
Traveling?
But not in Varanasi. So I was just traveling all over the place, from north to south. Yeah. Yeah. I was exhausted in the end, but
I bet you were. What was it like in terms of, you went from north to south, and what were your experiences of how people accepted you photographing them? Did it change across the region, or was it fairly consistent the whole way through?
Fairly consistent. And Indian people loves to be photographed. Like, they really love, and they love to have that dramatic look. So if you ask them, then they won't pose like, they look through the camera and you can see their soul, It's like, yes.
What year was this trip?
2019.
2019.
1819. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I was there for New Year's Eve. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Have you been back since?
No, I'd love
Is it
to.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it something you want to do, or have you got other places in mind?
I've got other places in mind, definitely. I haven't been to Japan, or like to go to Japan or Mongolia, New Zealand, and yeah, there's heaps of places. I've been to Morocco, but I never been to Africa, and yeah, so much places to visit, and um, yeah, and photographic opportunities is, yeah. So, but I wanted to go to Nepal as well, because I haven't been to Nepal. But,
Yep.
Yeah. And it's so close. Like, it's all, everything, you start looking and you think, oh, I could go there too, and I could go there too. And then you start looking up flights and things, and it's not nowhere's as close as you think it is. And it's like, oh, how long am I going to need to do India and Nepal? And, and then
yeah,
you start piecing this thing together, and it just becomes too big. And that's why I keep pushing it back.
and also because I believe India deserve like a trip just for India for a few months at least, because it's intense. Yeah, it's a huge country.
It
It's a
is
huge
big, isn't it?
country, and if you want to take the most out of it, and not just in terms of photographing, but spiritually, and understanding the culture and the country, I think it deserves 2-3 months minimum. Yeah.
Any
Interesting.
Any interesting stories or crazy stories you can remember from that trip, whether they're photographic or otherwise? Any interactions or things that you saw, or people, anything?
Yeah. So I was like, the first story that comes to my mind was in Varanasi. I met this Nepalese guy, and he showed me an ashram. So we went inside this ashram, and we were chatting about life. He told me his story, um, and the sound was super relaxing. It was like this, like meditation music going, and we've been chatting there for hours. And then he asked me if I wanted to get some street tandoori chicken. I'm like, yes, I love some tandoori chicken. And so he escorted me um, to this like street food store that was run by children. Like the oldest had like probably 12, and
Wow.
and they were cooking up this food, and he ordered for me. He asked me some coins for a drink, and he asked me, you know, he asked me that he could provide some drinks for us, and I never seen him again. So he didn't come back.
Oh, so he took your
And
money to go
then
buy food.
no, the drinks. So he ordered food for me. So I was waiting for the food, and then I gave him some coin to get some drinks for us, and then he never came back.
Oh, wow.
And I started eating, and then I realized the chicken wasn't chicken; it was fish. There has been fish inside the Mekong River, the Ganga River, which is pretty gross.
That's where all of the ashes flow into, don't they? After people die and a burn.
Yeah.
Oh no!
But I didn't go sick.
Wow, that's like
Well, that's good.
The kids did a good job to cooking it up.
Oh no! Wow, and you were talking to him for hours before this. For
for hours.
Crazy.
Yeah, he told me he's journaling every day and writing every milestone of the day, and which with which people he talked to, and because his wife was still in Nepal, so his plan was to retire in Nepal and then spend the last days in bed with the wife and reading her his journal. And yeah,
He did a
pretty
runner.
sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Very
did
sweet.
a runner
Up
in the
until
end.
the point where he told
Yeah,
the
yeah.
money. So yeah, it's a very sweet story.
I mean, you know what's
Yeah.
funny is I wonder if he's somewhere telling people this story and he's like, yeah, so I went to get us drinks and anyway, I got mugged and they took me and but by the time I got back, the guy was gone. Like he's got this whole other story.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, never know. But it's part of it. It's part of it. And
Yeah.
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 Mm.
We've got a couple of friends of
Yeah.
the show, one of which is Dennis Smith, who should still be listening on his road trip now. And he's done time in India. And also Glyn Lavender, who he might even still be there, or no, he's on his way back, I think.
He's been in Bangladesh. I don't know if he did India on this trip or not. I can't remember if he teed them up, but yeah, he does a lot of workshops in India and
Tours and
Bangladesh now
stuff.
as well, and tours and things. So I'm always hassling him for insider information about where to go and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
I got to
from
make
have
that
you
time-
have you heard about Rajasthan?
no. Tell me.
Yeah.
Let's hear about that.
Rajasthan is a huge region on the west that goes basically the border of Rajasthan share the border with Pakistan.
Okay.
Yes, and there's these like ancient cities which is so worth to go and visit. And there's Pushkar, which is another holy city, and Udaipur, Mysore, and Jaisalmer is the last city, which is called the Golden City. It has desert all around, so you can sleep in the desert
Is
with the
there?
camels.
I think I've heard of some of this area. Is there a popular kind of tourist route that includes maybe 3 cities or something over in that? I'm trying to remember.
Yes,
There's
yes.
something triangle or there's something.
Yes,
yeah.
Jaipur, Udaipur, Pushkar,
That's
and
right. Yeah. Yeah,
and
this-
Jaisalmer
this-
is the last.
There's so much to explore because I was the other places that I've looked at are Chennai.
And Jodhpur, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Which one? Jodhpur is
Chennai.
the blue city. It's pretty famous. Also, like Steve McCurry shoot a lot in there.
Oh, okay. Where's
yeah.
that one? Where?
Still in Rajasthan.
Oh, this one
Yeah,
here.
that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, wow. That
Yeah.
looks.
Yeah.
It's
and
but there's- yeah, so-
Jaipur is the pink one. 'Cause the buildings are mostly pink. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a huge country. Look at
Yeah, and you have
sort of-
those castles around, and yeah, it's beautiful.
yeah, and then so
You
and
were saying before?
I can't remember. I don't know. So Chennai is on the list as well. And then otherwise, where's Varanasi gone? I've lost it. It's up here somewhere.
Varanasi is northeast.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's all so spread apart that it's basically plane flights unless you do trains maybe. But they
Oh,
would be pretty-
trains. Oh, you have to experience the train.
Yeah. What's it like?
Oh yeah. Oh well, it's so cheap. First of all, like, and I don't know, it's so much to experience in the train because you see the real life of the people,
Yeah.
and then you can sleep in the cabin. I remember one time I was pretty sick on the train, and I felt like I was going to puke all over the place. And so a friend of mine that was traveling, that I met, that we were doing that section of travel together, she guided me with this like breath work, sort of yoga style breath work to like just hold it. So it works.
Oh, good.
But, yeah. But yeah, you definitely need experience to trains. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm writing lots of notes.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
So what? Okay, so this was quite a transformative trip from for you, photography wise, and probably personally,
Yes.
and everything as well.
Yes.
But before this, had you done any paid work as a photographer before you did that India trip?
I did a couple of weddings.
Before that,
Yeah.
okay. How
Yeah.
did they come about?
They come about because my uncle and auntie got married, and they asked me to be the photographer. I was like, yeah, sure. That's a good thing about me is like I don't give a shit, you know. I'm not afraid of. I just do it, you know. Like I'm not shy on that, and it's like cool. This is fun. Let's see what happens. Because lots of people, you know, it can be like a pressure. Some
Weddings, particularly, yeah. People
you know,
sometimes they'll even say yes, and then they'll start worrying in the lead up to it, like, you know, am I gonna miss something? Am I gonna get something wrong? Or
exactly. So something that I appreciate of myself in that regard, that is I don't get words. I just go for it. And it's the only way to do it. If you fail, well, you're gonna learn something from that, right?
That's true. That's true.
So
They're
will
probably
the
gonna
bride and
hate you forever.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You might not get to talk to your auntie and uncle again, but you know,
Yeah,
it's okay.
But yeah, it was a success, and I designed like a really beautiful album that they still have and they worship still in these days. And then from there, some friends saw the album and they really loved it, and I shoot a wedding for them as well. And then I also was working hospitality in a beautiful place in Tuscany, and as a waiter. And then so I started taking photos for them as well, which we made a little book, like a food photography with recipes, a recipe book, and yeah, pictures of the place, the rooms, and it's very luxury, very charming place in the middle of the hills, and beautiful, stunning. So yeah, those were like my first gigs, paid work. Yeah.
At that point, had the idea of being a professional photographer kind of come into frame? Was it something you were pursuing, or were these things just kind of happening and you hadn't really given it much more thought beyond, I'll give that a go?
I love this question because at that stage I was a bit unsettled inside, of like I didn't know what to do with my life, you know, and I had some pressure from like healthy pressure of family that was like, you have to decide what you want to do in life, you know. And I felt so bad because I didn't have that sort of clarity of I don't know what is my way. And then there was a small gathering, and a friend of a friend, I don't know, somehow we ended up talking about me having to choose a profession or like a direction, even if I was working and everything, but like, you know. And in that moment I got a bit annoyed with her to put it out like in front of all the people, And that was the first time I stood up and it's like, I know what I want to be. I want to be a photographer. And it felt weird at the beginning, but it's like, oh, I said it. And from that moment, like, I feel like I put it out there, and like, yeah, that's cool. That's what I'm going to do.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's awesome. So it was kind of like it was bubbling under the surface, or kind of like, you know, when water boils and it's getting hotter and hotter, but it hasn't boiled yet, and then suddenly, bang, bubbles, water's
Yeah.
boiling. And you're like, okay,
Exactly.
that's it. I'm a photographer now. That's what I'm going to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
very cool.
at that stage I was doing, I was more like an amateur. There was experiencing few paid stuff, but I didn't feel the confidence to call myself a professional, you know. And so when I said that, wasn't like I am now, I'm gonna be, you know. And so I never had like a photography course in my life, but I always studied and kind of trained the eye and everything, and I was pretty obsessed to get the perfect shot. Which you guys want to know my quote?
Yes.
The perfect shot is the one that you don't take it.
Oh.
The one you miss.
Yeah.
Explain. Go. Tell me why.
Oh, because sometimes when you know that would be the perfect shot, there's fear creeping in, and there's fear because you know that thing will matter more than something more irrelevant, and then and is mixed with a sense of awe and being present. I'm like, oh, I love this so much that I feel like if I take a photo, I ruin the moment.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
It does. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could hold back. I don't know. I think I'd have to take. I think I'd have to take the photo and just ruin everything.
Yeah. That sounds like you.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so you decided to become a professional photographer.
Yes.
What did you do to make that happen? Did you try and find a mentor to learn from? Were there any courses that you did, or online resources, or in-person stuff?
No. None of that. I believe if I would have done that, maybe I would be more sort of, I don't know. Never mind. I'm just reflecting that just after years and like a decade that I'm doing the photography, I'm in the photography game. I just started to send emails out there to reach potential clients. I never done that. I was like, why I haven't done that? And probably if I will have a mentor, he will tell me like that's what you should do. And so my journey was just like, don't think about the business, just go out there, take the best pictures you can and show it to the world. And then the events kicked in, and then I started doing events. And then with Dave, and also music videos, and I started making, and that was the shift that got me passionate into filmmaking as well. Yeah, and so events, and then it was just like a snowball of word of mouth and headshots for people, and yeah. And also being here in Byron is like it's a small community, and there's lots of creatives, and it's pretty easy to get into the loop of word of mouth if you're good.
Yeah.
And so that was like my only way to promote myself, which I didn't have to. Like jobs were just coming to me. But now I'm like, I don't want to sit there and wait. I want to create, and I need to create more possibilities for myself around even Sydney, Melbourne, and just travel. And
Yeah.
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 And so I'm emailing and spreadsheeting everything, and
getting
yeah.
technical business stuff.
Yeah,
I like it.
exactly.
This is
Exactly.
my world.
Yeah.
So is it mainly, so when you're talking about trying to expand and do more work in Sydney and Melbourne and things, is that what you're talking about with the real estate type work, or are you thinking more for weddings and things? Is that what you're chasing to go outside of Byron with your work?
Yeah. So I have different avenues. So so I will arrive to that. But just let me explain something. I think the biggest creative block that I had was that lots of paid work didn't fit into my sort of Balduzzi Capture brand. And put everything in one place didn't feel good, didn't feel that I would give the right importance to fields that they need some sort of professionality and legitimacy. I don't want to be seen as like, oh, this guy's doing everything. But and so it took me a while to understand which direction I want to take. So at the moment I'm building 3 extra 2 brands, like one for real estate and editorial work that definitely will allow me to travel, do it here, do it Melbourne, Sydney. Then a separate one for the weddings, and then the Balduzzi Capture, which is mostly documentary, that will basically fit into, as a commercial work, will fit into a sort of traveling with business owners, entrepreneurs, and documenting, or artists, and documenting their own journey, or sort of like documenting experiential brands and that sort of documentary, still documentary, but with like a business to it, like some commercial. And
say if I was going on a trip around India with our camera straps, I could pay you to come and photograph me.
Exactly.
And then I can use that in marketing materials and things like that kind of thing.
Yes.
So that would be the commercial side of your more documentary, which is more probably towards your more personal work. So Balduzzi Captures is kind of like a home for your personal work, but it still has a little bit of a commercial element to it. Yeah.
Yes, which is it doesn't dilute the brand, doesn't dilute, it's legitimate to get money from your work. It's not just
for sure.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I will do a lot of filmmaking too. Like, for example, for you, camera strap in India, I will provide filmmaking as well. So like a promo, behind the scene documentary, like a documentary sort of. Yeah, all these things.
How did you?
Which I did.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Sorry, you go. No. You go.
I just want to find out how you got into filmmaking. So, you were stills photography first. Did someone just say, "Hey, can you make a film clip for my band?" Like, how did and then did you have to learn editing and what frame rates are, and what log footage is, and all that kind of did you just throw yourself in there the same way you did with the first wedding?
Yes. Exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah. But that was a bit different because basically I was experiencing a bit of video before, but no professional. It was just like a little documentary clips of some sort of journey, like I don't know, in Lao, or some sort of filming a street performer in Perth, these little things, but they weren't that good. Then I was sharing the house with my friend Kenny, aka Kenzo Cruz, which is a super talented musician. And then we start playing together because I play percussions too. And so one day I throw the idea out there to him, like, hey, what about you create some beats and I'll play along. And he was just focusing on his own things. It's like, oh, I don't know, maybe. And then it was a dinner party and I cooked, I don't remember if it was like fresh pasta or something like that, to friends, and they start chanting my name, and from there he found himself singing a whole song while driving the car, that was just like chanting my name. And so we created a band right there, and the first song was called Davide. And he made the song, and then we figured that we needed a music video. And yeah, and he's on YouTube, so listeners, you can check it out, Kenzo Cruz, Davide. And that was like the first experience with like music videos, and he was directing it. We were co-directing it, I guess. And at that stage, I didn't know anything about frame rates or, as you said, F-log and all that stuff. I was, very fresh, but it turned out really good. And I'm like, oh, this is fun. And so we start making more music videos. And then every project was like something new that I was learning. And I was getting faster and faster on editing, and then and then I start bringing those skills into the event, in the event realm. And so I become that guy that can do photos and videos at the same time.
Big advantage.
Justin's like that. He can do both.
Allegedly. Allegedly. That's hybrid shooting is definitely something that is a big advantage for it. Does mean that if you're trying to do both things, sometimes you can't be as great at either one as if you were just focusing on one. But it's a big advantage if you just want one person to cover an event and get a little bit of video as well, make a clip or something. And totally. It's huge. So
I capture my sister's wedding, both video and photo. I was like handling everything because the X-T4 has an image stabilization to it. And which is really good. So I was like holding the video, the X-T4 with one hand like that, and then taking the photos with the other one, like in moments of like ring sharing or those things. And it turned up good. I'm like, oh my God.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Have you heard of there's actually a new thing you can get. It's called a tripod, and then you can just pop the camera on it and point it. So you didn't even think to do, you were just like, I'll just hold two cameras, one's filming. That's crazy.
It's more fun that way.
Make it a challenge.
That's crazy. I thought my old business partner Jim, who's a host on this podcast sometimes as well, he still shoots weddings now. I don't shoot weddings anymore. He does this thing. This is only with stills though, which I think is way easier. When he shoots the first kiss, he holds both cameras, one with a 105mm lens or whatever, super shallow depth of field, nice and close, and then one with a wide angle lens that can get the whole bridal party. And he holds both of them and shoots both at once, and gets the first kiss close up and wide. And I thought that was crazy, but to film though, is because
also was filming with a manual lens.
Oh, what?
As well. So yeah,
that's nuts.
So
that's nuts.
But look, if the customer was happy, then you got the job done.
Yeah,
that's right. And you said you just got to go for it.
I did it for my sister.
So
yeah. So I was like, okay. They were even thinking about the video. The photos were enough, so it was just like an extra thing. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and turn up really well. But if I would book a wedding now, I would partner with a cinematographer.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
So be a lot of pressure on the day, I think. And it depends on what the couple's expectations are too, because if they're expecting like a ton of audio and all that sort of stuff, like trying to manage wireless mics and all that sort of stuff and shoot stills at the same time, that would be a lot.
And things can go wrong really quickly, so
oh yeah. Do you have any advice for photographers that haven't really stepped into the video world, but they're a bit curious about it, but also just worried about how complex it seems? Like how does a stills photographer get started in video without feeling overwhelmed?
So I see it as like an evolution from stills, right? Because video is a bunch of stills put it together, and I think it definitely contribute to both. Like if you're learning video, is not that you are running away or you're forgetting about taking stills. Is an evolution that helps you to be a better photographer too. Also because I think it helps and train your brain to sit down and have a vision beforehand, because you need an opener and you need a story. You have to build a story and you have to plan. And so I would say for people that they don't know anything about video, like you can, like online, of course, we know there's lots of resources and YouTube videos that explain the technicality, but to get into the habit just with the phone, but not like be more intentional and just train with your phone, but not as we used to do it with the phone like that. Like be more intentional and take like 10 seconds clip minimum, and you can use like a still frame and hold it for 10 seconds and just like capture what is happening there, and or experience some sort of movements, but keep it 10 seconds every shot, and then put it together and see what happens. Put some music, and more you go, you get more critical, and you can see what is working, what is not working. And there's a ton of inspiration also, like watching movies, but it's definitely something that I would recommend because it's also very fun to do it. Like I almost enjoy more the video work than the photo. It's more challenging.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
finished product of an edit that comes together well is very satisfying.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating in the edit process.
Yeah.
But it's when it comes together and you play it back and it's all, it's synced up to the music exactly where you wanted it to, and it's very satisfying.
Yeah.
That's amazing advice, using your phone. That's not something I'd thought of before, but I think the cool thing about that is that takes away, because there is a lot of technicalities to learn with your camera, shooting video on manual and frame rate and the 180-degree shutter rule and all that stuff. ND filters. Slide all that over to the side for a minute. Put your phone on video mode, but on auto. You can choose from the wide angle lens or the regular lens, or if your phone's just got one lens, that doesn't even matter too. But I love that idea of just doing like a few different shots, an establishing shot, a closer up shot, and then just put it together to some music. There you go. You made a video.
Exactly.
That's actually, that's a great idea.
Yeah. And then you learn also the different way of communicating things related to the lens you're using. And related to the movement that you are doing, because the movement can be also something that used to your favor if you want to express some sort of an inch feeling or tension. You can do that. So yeah, I think not thinking too much, just do it with a bit more intention, and again, keep it 10 seconds. Take the habit to minimum 10 seconds a shot, because from my personal experience, while I was taking videos, I was like, why I didn't hold that beautiful shot for longer that it should have been.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good habit to have.
I've had that exact thought many times during the edit. Like, I need this clip to be 2 seconds longer. Why did I just put my camera down or press off on the record button, or not hold it steady? Like you hold it and then the last bit that you really need, you're like shook at the camera and you're like, what was I doing?
And maybe not even press the record button, and then you realize you were recording the flow.
I did that.
That's even worse. Not recording.
Yeah. On the Canons, there's a decent recording indicator, but sometimes you can't see it, especially when it's really bright in the viewfinder. It's like a red line that goes around the outside. It's better now, actually. I can't remember. Maybe it was worse on the first R5. But there was one whole, probably an hour of a shoot, I reckon, where I was shooting mountain biking, and I got out of sync. So I thought I was pressing record, I was pressing stop. And then when I thought I was pressing stop, I was pressing record for a ton of clips. So every clip was like the camera going back into my bag. And then I'd take the camera out, frame up a shot, and then press stop. It was the worst.
You could probably like edit a video of that and make it as a story.
I don't think the client would have liked it. No. for the mountain bike review we were filming at the time. It's like, so I realized that I'd done it because I like mid shoot, so we could quickly redo some of the shots that I didn't get. But yeah, I pulled the thing out of the bag once and I was like, it's been recording this whole time. And then I was like, I better just check the clip before that. Oh no, the clip before that. Oh no. And then I'm going back to it. Like, Anyway, that's a rookie video mistake.
Did you get drunk for desperation?
Afterwards?
Yeah.
yeah. There was probably a couple of beers after that shoot, I'd say. Should we, Greg? Should we talk a little bit about gear, maybe, or should we do an ad read first? What do you reckon? Where are we at?
Do you want to do this one? You do this one.
Oh, I can. Yeah.
Of course you can.
This podcast is brought to you by us. because we also make leather camera straps. Greg and I, no, we don't actually make them. We just use them and tell you about them and stuff like that. But they're made in Australia. They're beautiful leather camera straps with a wonderful quick release system that we designed so that you can attach it to your camera pretty quickly, but you can also just take it off and leave nothing on the camera as well. And it fits Canon slots, which are obviously superior to everything else. But it does also fit the little Fujifilm triangle rings too, and the Nikon ones. Fits almost all cameras except for a couple of Canons that have really little slots on them, like the R100. We won't talk about those. So they're very comfortable. They're great for taking your camera everywhere where you're on a trip. Like if I was in India and wanted to walk around with my camera, I would just take the camera out. And this is often what I do when I was in Vietnam. I go out with my camera strapped across my shoulder and that's it, and just wander the streets. I don't like to carry a camera bag and things like that. I like to have the camera out, and that's what our straps are designed for. So head to luckystraps.com and check out the range if you would like to support the podcast or just get yourself a better, more comfortable leather camera strap.
Yeah.
Add over.
And use
Oh,
code
and
Greg.
what?
Use code Greg for a discount.
Yes. What will it get you? I think it'll get you 15% off, which is pretty good. It's the max discount. You could use code Justin too if you want to annoy Greg. That's fine as well. Up to you.
So rude. So rude.
Anyway, how professional are our ads? Do you like them? They're pretty good, right?
Love it. I love it.
Graphics, no script.
Yeah.
Yeah, no script.
I love it because it sounds like a friendly neighbor. It's not very salesy or
Well, yeah, it is what it is. We've done a lot of podcasts. We forgot to even mention them. We're like, whoops, I guess. Well. Well.
Next week.
Next week, exactly. There's always next week.
Yeah. Let's
all right.
talk gear.
So gear. Fujifilm. How did you fall into that world?
Well, I was using a Canon before, Canon system. Yeah. But then my friend Olmo Fattorini, which is a photographer too, shout out. I don't know if he's with us, but he's like, "Oh, I bought this camera. I think you should take it because you should get an X-T2 because those cameras are amazing. Like they really fit into your hand and you got the dials. You can see where the settings are and like, okay, cool. And then I was working in that place that I was saying in Tuscany, and I met this great photographer. I think I lost contact with her, but she was a client, and we started chatting, and then I saw her stuff, and they were amazing. Like she was doing like documentary work in South America, I think. For like violence against women. So she was photographing women and sending it up like a black backdrop and she was like, well, I've got an X-T1 with me. I can lend it to you for a few days if you want to try it, which is it's pretty bold thing to do, right? Like awesome. I don't lend my gears. Like there's no way. But she did, and I started playing around with the X-T1, and yeah, it was just like, okay, this is like a totally different experience. And then I bought the X-T2, went to India, and then I got the X-T4. And I started making, well, the first videos that I did was with the X-T2. And then the X-T4 was a game changer because with image stabilization, make my life really easy in that regard. Because I don't like to use the gimbal. I hate the gimbal.
Me too. I don't know.
Yeah, and especially if you're a hybrid in events, for example, you don't like. I like to have the double strap and be able to switch to video to photos when I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I've got a bunch of lenses. Um, do you know one of my favorites,
Tell us.
Tell us.
which is not Fuji though?
Oh,
Yeah, go on. Tell us anyway.
It's
We
the
won't judge.
Metacon.
oh,
Metacon 0.95.
oh. Is it manual
Yeah, it's
focus?
manual focus 35 mil.
And
It's
it
great.
says F 0.95.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
35 mil. So it's close to a 50 mil equivalent
Yeah.
on a full
Yeah.
frame. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I use it for video because it's has sort of like a vintage flair to it. That sort of is not is creamy, is not clinical, and
Yeah.
for my taste, like some people prefer the sharp. Yeah,
Is that it? No.
Yep.
Yes?
it's this
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, it is
this
that
one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Is it
I
hard
mean,
to
that's,
get in focus?
You get used to it. Also, because with Fuji you can have a focus peaking set up, so you can see where the focus sits.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
right.
there's other lenses that they basically cover the same focal length and the same aperture, which is one is the 7 Artisans, and the other one I don't remember the other one, but yeah.
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 Gosh, and
Interesting.
I've
So-
been having fun shooting with an f1.4. I couldn't imagine shooting with a less than an
9.5.
f1. That'd be
Yeah.
crazy.
and manual
Yeah,
focus. like
Yeah.
And manual focus, yeah. Which
crazy.
like the 0.95 would be like 1.4 in full frame, if I'm not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least you can get to that bokeh, and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It's
We
not for
actually-
everyone, but
No, but it is super cool because it's also not, by the look of it, it looks like on the internet here, it doesn't look very easy to get these. I don't know if they're not sold much anymore. Like they're not, it's not popping up on any camera stores, but it looks like you can get it on like AliExpress. That would be, but yeah, I can't see it. Yeah, it's not popping up on any camera store. So I don't know, maybe they stopped selling them. But it's reasonably priced.
so I can sell mine for 20 grand.
Yeah, exactly.
The
exactly.
demand side. Yeah.
Now, this isn't a question any of us will be able to answer, but I'm going to pull it up anyway, just so people know that if you want to ask questions in the live chat, you can, and we will pull them up, even though this is our Thursday interview show. On Mondays, we pull up lots and lots of comments, but on Thursdays, we don't pull up as many because we try and get into the interview with our wonderful guests. But this was a question from Chris Visuals09. What lens do you recommend for portrait and cinematic videos? The Viltrox 51.4 Pro or the Sony 50mm G Master 1.2?
No idea.
Yeah. Other than
don't know those lenses.
I don't have experience with either of them. My recommendation would be, have you shot with a 50mm prime at all before? It can be very cheap to just try out. Most systems have a 1.8 nifty 50. Yeah, they won't be anywhere near as good as the 1.4s or 1.2s, but you'll be able to create some great work with them and see if you like that focal length. If you know you like the focal length and you're comparing these two lenses, this worries me because the Viltrox 50 is like an $800 lens. The G Master 1.2 is the flagship 50mm from Sony, and it's like $2,500 or something like that. They're very different. The 100%, the Sony G Master 1.2 is going to be better. It will be. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Even if that Viltrox is great, a native lens from their flagship line, being the G Master, and a 1.2 is going to be a better lens. So
Yes,
comparing
if you're
those two
looking
is
if you're looking
Or
for precision and technical prowess, yes, that is the case. But if you were looking for a bit more character, then that's when the Viltrox come
Maybe.
into play, because it
How do
wouldn't
you-
be as corrected as the Sony.
Yeah, but is
they're
it
often
is
not.
it good character, or is the because like the Canon 1.2 has amazing character. It's got a very beautiful look to it, sort of thing. So that's where it gets really tricky, because character's not always just it being worse. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a great lens can also have great character as well. Yeah, you would have to try both of them. Sony do also make a 1.4 G Master, which is cheaper and lighter. So I would be looking at that probably if it was me. Anyway.
Yeah.
or neither and get Fuji.
Someone had to go there. Swap your whole Sony system for Fuji, and it'll be all light and much better.
You could shoot with two cameras at once, like Davide.
exactly. Yeah.
Because two Fujis weigh as much as one Sony, so
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
twice as
Don't know if that's true.
I would know.
So you've got an XT4. There's an XT5 out. Are you the sort
Yeah.
of person that once you've got a camera you're happy with, you just don't even look at new models? You don't do you even know what the XT5's got that the XT4 doesn't have, or do you care? Or what's your thoughts around upgrading cameras?
Yeah, I always look. I always fantasize. But I'm quite broke at the moment.
Right.
But I will. But I won't be in a few months. So I'll definitely have to get new cameras. Because because sometimes like for example, I have the XT2, like I bought it in 2018, and I'm still using it. But sometimes like worries me, like I don't know, I turn it on and does like weird stuff, or
That's all Fuji's,
so I'm like,
isn't
Hey.
I was like, okay, I think it's time. But I'm not sure if to go to get the XT5 or to get the X what is it, H2
XH2.
yeah, or that one,
Interesting.
yeah, because it's very good for videos.
Very
apparently,
good.
that
It's
one.
very good for hybrid.
Yeah.
And I think a friend of the show, Ian Tan, he now shoots with GFX, but previously he was shooting, I'm pretty sure he was shooting with XH models, and he would do video and stills as well. And just really, really love the system for that side of it.
Yeah.
So this is a tough one, because the XH2S, which there's two models there. One's lower resolution, sort of more speed. That's right, Greg, isn't it? One's higher resolution, not quite as much speed. So XH2, XH2S, and the XT5 are all fair chunk into their life cycle. The plus side of that is they're cheap. Like the XT5 has been priced pretty well for over a year now, because it's been out for a long time, so they start to get discounted more from all the retailers. So it's pretty affordable. But on the other hand, there's a solid chance that any of those cameras would be, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, but any of those cameras could get upgraded in the next 6 to 12 months, probably?
Yeah, for sure.
You
I think
reckon?
I think the XT5 needs to move to the next generation, because they're releasing almost entry-level cameras with the same specs. XE5 is kind of an enthusiast level camera. XT50 is more of an entry level camera, kind of a step up from the XT30 Mark III in terms of resolution. But the XT5 is getting on in age, and it should stand apart from the others. It should stand apart from an XE5.
Wow, the XT5's down.
You're saying that it doesn't?
It does. There are certain things, and again, it depends on what you use it for. You know, whether you need all of the bells and whistles. But you know, their entry, because of the way that they're releasing cameras at the moment, their enthusiast level and entry level cameras are coming out, and they're amazing. You know, they're on par with flagship. They have the same flagship image sensor and processor. They have the same IBIS.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, and they're three really core parts that Fuji have always focused on in terms of this is what you're getting. You're getting a better sensor, better processor, and stability. The XT6, I think, needs to really step up from that in some way or another. Whether they go to a 60 megapixel sensor, like a lot of other brands are starting to move towards, or whether they just optimize what they've got now and make it faster. You know, that. But I think it's coming up to be due.
The XT5 is currently $2,179.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It was $2,500 a little while ago, and that was cheap.
Well, when they dropped the XT50, it was almost the same price as the XT5.
Yeah,
and so people were questioning.
Exactly.
Well, I bought my XT4 for $1,600, brand new.
No. Yeah. But cameras have gone up a ton since then. Like all like cameras across the board, and lenses particularly seem to have gone up quite a bit as well. I don't know. It's so an XH2 is $2,200, so it's essentially the same price. But the XH2S is $3,200.
Yeah.
So it's
their most expensive X series.
Yeah, but I believe that one is pretty solid, right? It's like a tank.
The XH2S, it is.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
But it doesn't have the dials and stuff on it. You'd probably want to have a good play with that and make sure you like the feel.
At this stage, I can go with no dials because the XT4, I never done it before, but now the XT4 start giving me a hard time with the dials. You know, like I'm turning the ISO and all of a sudden I realized that he changed the modality as well because it has like a second bottom dial to it.
Yeah. So you got to lift up.
It gets clogged up. Yeah. So they can get clogged up. Yeah. But
but there are customizable command dials on the front and rear of the camera, which you
can
set to, as well on the XT5.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, on all of them basically. Like my XE5, my front dial is my ISO, and the back is shutter speed. Should I not want to use the shutter speed dial on the top? It's just under my thumb. It's quick and that sort of thing. But yeah, you can always customize those dials to whatever you need it to be.
Yeah.
Have you thought about switching back to Canon? Was worth a shot. Okay. You're so
Justin. No, I thought. What's the name of it? FX3 Sony.
Oh yeah,
I thought about
video.
I thought about that. Yeah. I thought about that one.
What made you? What makes you think that a dedicated video camera would be a big benefit for your commercial work?
Yeah, because I see cinematographers what they do with the FX3, and it's a really good. I really like it, but very expensive as well.
Yeah.
What's an XF3 at now?
Sony.
Roughly.
Let's have a look. Let's just look at gear for a while. Let's just do some shopping. Let's do some shopping. They're 5,500.
Just the body.
Yeah, for an FX3A body, and then obviously, that's the problem is you've also got to find lenses for that system. Then do you run Fuji and Sony, or do you switch everything? It's a whole. That's a big kettle of fish.
But I guess, do you know this little lens called Helios 44?
I don't think so. Helios 44. lens.
It's basically like an anamorphic lens, but it's very affordable and is amazing. And
Callias
some
40.
some cinematographers are using that one with the FX3. So let's say FX3 is like $5,000, and then the lens is like $400, something like that. But it's been used to shoot Batman as well.
That lens.
The last one, Batman,
Wow.
Batman. Yeah.
Have you heard of it? I'm Batman. You know, like, Batman.
Yeah.
I'm Batman. That's the one.
You could be Batman.
Well, you know.
You remind me a little bit. As a compliment, of course.
Thank you. Maybe I'll get a suit. I'm Batman.
Oh, no, you don't.
The next podcast, I would just be in a full Batman suit.
Yeah.
Probably get pretty hot. Yeah. Okay. It's super interesting. So Fujifilm don't really have other than the XH2S, they don't really have a dedicated video centric camera in their like their crop series line, do they? They have it in their GFX now, which is crazy.
The GFX has the Eterna 55.
Which is a whole nother level.
I mean, the X series, I guess if you were a pro videographer and you were using Fuji, you would go for the XH2S.
Yeah.
That would be the top of the line option for you. Or then step up to GFX, where you've got, so much more detail. Good luck with your hard drive storage.
Matt Kerr is going to offer you $19,999 for your lens and call it the Maticon rather than the Miticon, which is brilliant. And he also says I've got the XH2, great camera. Davide, and the GFXs I use regularly on set too. Oh, nice! You've got the full kit. Jealous.
Oh, look at you, Matt.
Yeah, got all the good stuff.
Yeah, living the dream.
It is.
Matt, if you're listening, tell us: have you tried the XH2S compared to the XH2? Do you have any thoughts on the difference between those two cameras? Paul Henderson says, if Fuji would improve focus for sports and wildlife, it might be really interesting. Greg, can you get that done?
Well, I can't personally. I can only influence upwards. But, to that point, Fuji have always had a reputation for,
bad
amazing
autofocus.
Glass, but slow autofocus. And I'm going to mute you in a minute. And then they have improved it. They have worked on it a lot. My XE5, my XE5 is quite fast, especially with the right glass on it. And look, plenty of people shoot sports and wildlife with Fujifilm and don't have an issue at
Andrew
all.
Hall?
Andrew Hall shoots motorsport.
His main cameras are the XH2s, I think. They're his go-tos. I think they're more comfortable in his hands as well.
Yeah, they're a bigger grip.
You were saying bigger grip and stuff like that. But he shoots like 24-hour motorsport races at night and all that sort of stuff with those.
In JPEG only.
And I think it matters also the settings that you you have. I think that's critical as well.
Yeah.
The autofocus settings? Or
the autofocus settings.
Yeah. How does Fuji work with that sort of stuff, Greg, now? Because yours is essentially, would you say your XE5 has the most up-to-date autofocus system?
Yeah.
Because it's the newest one?
It's the newest generation. It's basically got the flagship body sensor, processor, and IBIS again. And the autofocus, it's their latest algorithms and subject detection, subject tracking.
Do you have to switch subjects? Do you select like cat or
sometimes
beard
I do, yeah.
or car? So or does it do auto, or is there how does it work?
I'm not sure if there's an order. There's individual subjects you can select. One of them is animals, and then there's bikes. I think there's airplanes, motorsport, all of those sorts of ones. But I rarely use that that side of it, but I use the subject tracking for eye and face detection. So like when I'm doing those shots at the skate park, and you know, I find that the focus performance on the XE5 with that new 23mm lens that I'm using is incredibly fast. You know, I'm standing a meter away from subjects that are about to come past me from right to left across the screen at speed while they're launching in the air, you know, on skateboards. And, you know, the subject face and eye detection is grabbing them really clearly. I mean, yeah, it misfires sometimes and, you know, some shots don't come out great. But it's fairly effective.
Okay.
And again, as Davide said, a lot of it comes down to settings, how you've set up the focus performance and tracking and continuous focus and those sorts of things that can make all the difference. So yeah. But yes, Fuji could always improve autofocus.
Yeah, but also I believe some sort of challenge is good. Because, you know, we want to have like the quickest autofocus, like all the specs and out.
Yeah.
But back in the days when they were doing it with film, they didn't have autofocus.
And this is where it gets tricky, because I agree with that a little bit. And I agree with it until I'm on a sports shoot and I'm trying to get like, so sometimes I'll shoot mountain biking. And this is with the flagship. Well, actually, not the flagship Canons. I don't have an R1, but I've got other, like some of the fastest performing Canon cameras that have ever been made, with great lenses. But still trying to get. If you imagine like this is a tree, and the trail, the mountain bike trail comes around like this, and there's a jump behind the tree, and so basically the subject is coming like out like that from behind the tree fast. And trying to like lock on to acquire the subject quick. I can sometimes I'll even have 3 or 4 goes at that and then give up because I can't do what I have in my mind because the camera just can't keep up with it. Manual focusing is impossible because I'm trying to shoot shallow, like they're going through the plane of focus so fast that I can't even set like a manual focus and capture it. Maybe someone better can, but I can't. So yeah, like there's still times when the system can't keep up with what I'm trying to do, and then you just work to the system. And I guess that's what we used to do with film. You would just work to the system. You'd be like, okay, I can't do that. I'll go off to the side of the feature where they're coming directly past me, preset a manual focus zone that they're going to ride through, and like try and time it or whatever. You kind of work to your limitations, I guess, which can force creativity as well.
Yeah, and also, you can close the aperture a bit and raise the and raise the ISO, and because you know, but by now it's easily adjustable.
Yeah, it's tricky because it's a very specific. These are very specific things that I have trouble with because it's very specific to the sport that I shoot regularly. But in the pine plantations where I shoot some of these mountain bike shoots, even in the afternoon, say 3 hours before sunset, to get the rider sharp, I probably have to shoot it around 1600th of a second shutter speed. To freeze the action, which is often at 6400 ISO at 2.8 in the pine plantations. So I'm already at 6400 at 2.8 on a 7200. And so my option then is like, do I whip out like a 50mm prime and try and shoot it even shallower and bring the ISO down a bit, or so
makes sense.
They're also all just problems I cause for myself, because I could just shoot on a wider lens with more in focus and just change it. So it's usually just things where I'm like, oh, this would be cool, and then it might work or it might not, but it's not. It's sort of like I'm causing my own frustration.
You know, that it doesn't work, so it's teaching you to look for an alternative solution. Which is great.
Exactly.
That's what the craft, that's what it should deliver. Constantly.
It's fun to find the limitations.
Yeah.
Exactly. There was my point, because limitations are so helpful in creativity. Like it really it it take you places that you wouldn't go.
Yeah.
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 By the way, I
yes.
believe, guys, like you should invite the gentleman Matt Kerr, that it is with us, to your podcast, because he's a great photographer too.
It sounds like it. It
And
also sounds like he's right up Greg's alley when it comes to gear.
yeah, and he's a very funny and handsome dude.
Oh, and handsome. Perfect.
Well, there you
Oh
go.
yeah,
That's what we're looking for. Fun and
That's
handsome.
right.
It's like
Yeah,
Tinder.
that's why I picked
Yeah.
Greg as the co-host. I was like, who's the most handsome person I can find?
You're funny. You're very funny. Look,
mute him,
Davide,
Craig.
I'll have a look into Matt. I'll have a chat to Matt. But conscious of time, we are coming up to the 2 hour mark. So what is next for you with your pursuit of photography and videography? What have you got on the horizon that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, so I'm about to finish and launch my second brand. As I was saying, for real estate and editorial work. And then in the horizon would be connecting with clients and travel with them, supporting them to tell their stories, their brand, their service, and do more weddings. Also, my partner is a wedding planner, so
Awesome. Oh, handy.
yep,
Yeah, that's
Yep.
very handy.
Yeah.
yeah. She doesn't push too much, so it's like, oh, push me a little bit. Oh, yeah.
A little bit more.
Like, come on.
Come on, do it. Trust me.
You need to set up, instead of setting up 3 different brands for the different arms of your business, you should have set up 3 different wedding photography brands. And then she could be like, here are the top 3 wedding photographers that you could pick from.
That's smart.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, you are.
Don't tell him he is.
Yeah,
and
so-
it's okay if you don't have an answer to this question yet. But of the different initiatives that you've got, out of the 3 of those, if there was one that you were like, I'd love to just that if I could just have as much work as possible in this arm of the business, I'd be stoked. Like, is there one of them that really lights you up more creatively, or just that you're more excited about currently? Which not to take away from the other ones, but is there one that you're like,
course.
oh, this one's exciting?
Yes. Well, that's the documentary one.
Yeah.
Because that's my main. The other 2, I'm passionate about it. I can do it really well. I consider them as a bread and butter.
Yeah.
Till a point. Because in order to have a sustainable business with my favorite one, I have to, like, there's time, because you have to find clients with a certain budget, that they have a certain intention, and they can see the value, and so it will come. And also because I stay also in the realm of the music as well, so I can work with artists, and which I'm in touch. And so yeah, that one is my favorite, and also it connects the documentary and connects the traveling part that I'm passionate about. And but as I said before, the other ones, I don't mean offense to that, saying that
No.
is the bread and butter. It's not that
yeah.
I
No, we get it.
undervalue or I consider
Yeah.
them as less.
We've all got bills to
but,
pay. We've all got bills to pay.
Yeah.
And often it's those bread and butter tasks that contributes to that over the artistic side of things. So yeah, no, we fully understand that side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can still find joy and creativity in those other genres and other pursuits. It's just, yeah, usually there's always, I often find with people, there's always one thing that's currently kind of like the obsession or it's like there's more fire to get this thing going. And it's always interesting to me to find out what that is. Like there's something that's sort of burning and you're like, I really want to do this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I'd like to, with my friend Roberto, we want to do a short film soon. He lost his partner, Craig Raddy. He won the Archibald Prize for painting. And
Oh, wow.
he passed away a few years ago. And so we're going to make a short film about that, about Roberto's world, Roberto's experiences, and that connects also of what I experienced with my loss. That lights me up as well to create short films and filmmaking, intentional, emotional, slow. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I've been doing lots of high pace stuff, events and music videos, and I kind of I'm interested to bring it down and slow it down. Yeah.
Would that be the first, I guess, I know you've made lots of videos, but would that be the first thing that you would class as a short film? Like a that's sort of, I guess, more structured, more planned, has a purpose and an intention behind it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. Because all my videos, I try to make them cinematic, but in that one, I could consider the first short film because it will be lots of slow tempo, lots of space and silence and introspection and emotions and So I'm pretty excited about that one.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing, and we certainly look forward to seeing it at some stage.
Yes.
Now, as is custom on the Camera Life podcast every Thursday morning, Justin asks a critical, pointed question about how you would survive an apocalypse. Justin, do you want to take it away from here?
If there was an end of the world situation.
It feels a little too real at the moment.
Exactly. Well, I'm already in action. I'm already in action, guys.
What do you mean?
I'm making the garden. Yeah. We got chickens in the property.
Nice.
Yesterday I digged a hole in the chicken coop, and in order to make some sort of like a compost inside the chicken coops. That is free fertilizer for the garden, and the animal close the cycle. And then I want to get into rabbits. And
rabbits?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
For the protein. Protein.
Really? Like breeding rabbits?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy and doesn't cost much money and space, and you don't have to look after them too much. And they make lots of rabbits in 1 minute. In 1 minute time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then a rabbit farmer.
Well, this book and some YouTube videos related to this book that basically is all about this, how to be more independent. In sustainable, how would you say? How would you sustain yourself? And so it teaches you lots of things that you actually can do, and you don't need a big space for it as well. You can do it in your
Yeah.
backyard, or yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not suggesting
But
things that are just not possible. It's suggesting things that you can actually do.
Exactly. Yeah, because like having a cow or like a cows, like of course, is huge challenge and a commitment. And rabbits are way more easy to have around and feed, and yeah. And because we think about veggies, right, like the garden, but then you still have to buy the protein at some
Yeah. And
point,
it's like you can
right?
have chickens and eggs, but that's a lot of eggs
Yeah.
each day that you've got to be able to eat if you didn't have
Yeah.
anything else. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And apparently he's teaching the rabbits, they have they're pretty easy and quick to I mean, to reach to that point that you can eat them. And also you have to take the responsibility to kill them,
I was going to
which
say
sounds
Yeah.
which sounds cruel, but like if you eat meat, someone does it for you. So
that's right.
if you can't do it, you shouldn't eat meat.
I heard that suggested once, and I think it would actually change society in a way. Someone suggested once, if you want to eat meat, you should have to go through that process of killing an animal two
Yeah.
times. They said that was their suggestion, because they said anyone can do something once. But if you could do it a second time, then you've kind of, that way you value each piece of meat that you get, because you know exactly what's happened to produce it. You're not going to waste it. You're not going to leave half of it on your plate because you have no concept of what went into someone preparing that for you to be able to eat. And I was like, that's a very interesting concept. Obviously it would never happen, but it's an interesting concept to be like aware of what has gone on.
Totally. And I think it's very empowering as well, and it grounds you, right? Like it really grounds you to take the responsibility and have control on what you feed in, or what you bring to your table and you eat. Like it does feel challenging, like but like I did a trip on a sailing boat with my friend Narayan. We've been sailing around Fiji, and I was fishing all the time, and fish, caught lots of fish that I was killing. I was having nightmares in the night, looking them in the eyes in my dreams.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But at the same time, like I was really grateful for them to provide the energy, and I think it's very important, especially in this like fast world that we are living, and everything is so accessible, and you don't even think what was. Yeah, and also it affects your body in a different way. Like when we were eating fish that was just caught, we were buzzing, like we couldn't sleep at all, like not at all, but like I was struggling to sleep because like I had so much energy. And because if you think about it, like that animal was alive 1 hour before.
Yeah.
More wild,
Yeah.
more fresh, more everything.
Yeah. And by the way, another project that I'm on is with my friend Narayan, and he has a mentally disabled son, and he's gorgeous. His name is Koa. Has autism and severe ADHD, and he's making his life and mom's life and sister lives really hard. And so he's thinking to set the sails with him and start a YouTube channel and call the YouTube channel Bella, which is the name of the boat, and Bella and Boy. And I'm involved into that to make it happen and to create content to pitch for sponsors to this project, and teach him how to edit. I will probably edit remotely at the beginning and all that. So that's also another meaningful project that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds absolutely incredible.
It really does.
Yeah.
Go on,
Really
Justin. Ask the question.
Yeah.
Well, well, that is where we were getting to with. So if you were rabbit farming and eating your own chicken eggs and things in the end of the world, Byron Bay's been overrun by zombies. Zombies dressed in really fine linens, I guess, or whatever they have in Byron Bay. Really nice,
white and beige.
White and beige zombies with really nice hair and everything.
Yeah.
What if you had to quickly grab one camera and one lens to document the end of the world? What would you go for?
Oh. Maybe 16 mil 1.4.
Oh, interesting. Nice. Get up close.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scary.
Yeah. And then just, I will probably take a photo and then I will get beaten. That's it.
And that'd be the end of it.
Done.
Yeah, right. Oh, well.
I think that might be a good place to tie a bow in this episode of the Camera Life podcast. What do you think, boss?
I think so.
Yeah.
What an episode.
That has been an episode.
Yeah. It was really fun. Yeah. The beginning I was a bit tense because but Danny became sort of I feel like I'm hosting you guys in my home sort of thing, and we're just chatting. So yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Lovely. And I don't mind eating rabbit, so that's even better.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But apparently it's not a thing in Australia, right?
A little
bit. It used to be. Yeah, it used to be more. I remember my dad, when I was a kid, my dad every now and then would come home with rabbit, with a whole rabbit. Yeah. And it used to freak me out because you'd open the freezer to get an ice cream and there's a carcass in there.
My pop and my great uncle, they would eat rabbit all the time. And I went shooting when I was a kid, and we shot rabbits. Yeah, and then it seems like it's drifted away. I'm sure it happens still in maybe more rural communities and things, but it doesn't get talked about as much. It doesn't seem that common anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think at my local market, at Paran Market here, some of the butchers sell more exotic meats, and I think every now and then they do rabbit.
Exotic rabbit.
Right.
And goat.
Yeah, exotic
rabbit.
Exotic.
It's a dwarf lop. But anyway, enough about rabbits. Davide,
rabbit casserole.
Yeah,
someone says
rabbit casserole.
Now I'm bloody hungry again. But look, let's wrap up here so we can all run off and eat. But on behalf of the Camera Life podcast, thank you so much, Davide, for sharing your story, your inspirations, and your journey. And it's amazing to see the work you've created just with Fujifilm cameras, as Justin would say, with a little crop sensor. But look, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, getting to know you, and sharing some of your story. I'm sure there's many other stories and anecdotes that we just don't have time for today. But where's the best place for people to find your work and to find you?
At the moment on Instagram, Balduzzi Capture, Balduzzi_capture, and BalduzziCapture.com. But I'm currently working on getting my website better, adding like a proper print store and everything, and and then I'm gonna put through Linktree the links of my other
Yep.
brands on Balduzzi Capture's page, Instagram page.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the
wonderful.
place.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Well, were you going to say something, Justin?
No, I said that's awesome. That's all.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misheard. Well, look, once again, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to hear your story and to learn a little bit about you. And we look forward to seeing what it is that you can achieve in the future. And we have no doubts that you'll be a success. But thank you. And
thank you, guys. Thank you for being interested and for being warm and yeah, it was such a pleasure. Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Love what we do. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we get to celebrate our craft. So, yeah.
And I will follow your journey too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you never know who's going to pop up as a guest. It's worth
And
keeping an eye on.
eventually, I will get him to buy a Fujifilm camera.
It's
He
going to
will
happen.
buckle.
Do
He
it.
will buckle.
One day.
Do it.
Yeah.
And then we go to India together.
Oh,
There you go.
let me know if you're going back. Let me know if you're going back. I'll come.
But on that note, we'll say farewell. We'll say good day and farewell to some people in the chat as we roll our outro music. But this has been the Camera Life Podcast, proudly brought to you by Lucky Straps.
Who is in the chat? Paul Henderson says, thank you. Another great pod. Julie Powell had to go. Great session. And thanks, Davide. Matt Kerr says, talking about limitations in tech, I'm using a Sony RX100 Mark VII, which is actually the latest version, and a Sony RX1R Mark II, which both come out in 2015. Nice work.
Well done.
Very nice work. Luis Sedgman, good to see you. Who else was here? Matt Kerr. Oh, yeah, Chris Visuals 09. Matt Boyle was here. Philip Johnson. It was very quiet through the middle. Everyone was listening intently. Rodney Nicholson. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, David Mascaro. Thanks, Dennis. Hope your drive's going well. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Be safe, everybody.